you were deeper than I let anyone else before. Lining up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed. Skipping out, no, I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher. Ooh, you take me higher, baby. You take me higher. Ooh, you take me higher, baby. You take me higher. Ooh, you take me higher, baby. You take me higher. Yeah, you take me higher, baby.
Welcome to Radical Truth to Power, the progressive news show with Les Biesri. I'm your host, Marlon, along with Theus Robinson, Anna Hart, and Tracy Carson. I warned y'all yesterday.
What up, dog?
I told y'all what's going to happen yesterday. Y'all was warned yesterday what this show is going to be about today. You got your tissues, you got your church shoes and socks on. Theus, don't pull out nothing.
Socks on.
I don't want to see nothing.
I got my socks in my house shoes.
Close enough. But we're going to get into it, and we're going to talk about that incident, that shooting, that murder, that massacre that happened in Buffalo at a grocery store. I'm going to take a slight detour and show y'all some of the things, some of the nuances, the reports, the all the things that led up to this. And Theus, I know what you're going to say. This has been something that's been in the making longer. I can't go back but so far. But I am going to start back pretty
He still knows
far.
what you're going to say.
We know what you're going to say.
We know what he's going to say.
My brother. No. Y'all got to understand. This went back way before y'all thought media had something to do with it. But this was started back in the 1800s with the newspapers. I get that. I understand.
Okay,
that.
so apparently I don't need to be here.
We need you, brother. We need you.
Marlon and Tracy can go ahead and speak for me because they already know my script, apparently.
Hey.
But we're going to go into great detail, and we're going to break down, and everybody who thinks I'm going to talk about just the media, that's not true. There's some other nuances that's been thrown in it that we as a society joke, laugh, ridiculed, made fun of, whatever, while the enemy was taking it dead damn serious. And we don't come up to this situation that happened in Buffalo, and the chances are we're going to come up to a lot more because they're not stopping. So let's go ahead and see who we got out there. This is Susan, which I have no idea why she's on Facebook user, but hey, Susan.
Hey, Susan.
Hello.
Howdy, Miss Susan.
OMG, it's America. Came to YT. Your video was the first in line. No notification, but just even had to say that I'm talking about. That's what y'all get when y'all hit that like button that I've been trying to tell y'all about. When y'all hit that like button, it suggests my video to a lot more people on that front page. The first 2 lines instead of you having to scroll down and look for it and everything. So go ahead and hit that like button. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. What happened at Buffalo is old news. There have been at least 2 more since then. Yeah, I know. But that's the situation that we always run into is that let's move on. Let's move on. Not realizing, if you think about it, what people tend to be moving on when people move on from a tragedy is to discuss another tragedy. So the second tragedy, the third tragedy negates the first tragedy. I'm sleepy and confused. Okay, Susan, as long as you're here, I'm cool. Hey, Marlon, Theus,
Hey, Mickey.
Hey, Mickey.
But I think you're here, Susan. We see you. When can we stop calling a mass shooting and massacre and start calling it genocide? Years ago. Mass genocide.
Well, they won't call it a genocide because it's slow. It's moving slowly.
That's their problem. That's
what
it is. It's a slow moving. Slow moving genocide.
I know, I get it, but I'm just saying. You know, when people think of genocide, they think of something that's much shorter in time. Because, you know.
Hey, Mother Heart.
Hello, Mama.
Hello, Mother Heart. I was minding my own business on Facebook, and you guys just popped up. That's what we do. We pop up on you when you least expect it. We ain't like that. It's we're not like that. All right. Well, all hearts and minds are clear. Let's get this party started.
Officials say that Peyton Gendron, a white 18-year-old man, was wearing body armor and military-style clothing when he pulled up yesterday at the Tops Friendly Market and began shooting. He picked that spot specifically for its demographics, according to officials. They say he drove for more than 200 miles away to carry out the attack in an area that had a significant black population.
He was very heavily armed. He had tactical gear. He had a tactical helmet on. He had a camera that he was live streaming what he was doing.
The suspect was immediately arraigned on first-degree murder charges, and more charges are expected to follow. Federal agencies are now investigating the shooting as a potential hate crime and a case of racially motivated domestic terrorism.
Now, authorities say 11 of the 13 people shot by this white suspect were black. They're reviewing a 180-page manifesto reportedly written by the shooter, where he describes his perceptions about the dwindling size of the white population. CNN's Paulo Sandoval.
So that was just a background. Like I said, just in case y'all forgot, since this is third on the list now, let's just go ahead and go back and get some background on that. So, what is?
I'm waiting to hear what everyone else has to say.
I don't have anything to say about that. I really don't.
About the mass murder thing?
The genocide?
Well, no, I mean, if that's what you wish to call it.
Okay.
I view it more of an act of war. But, potato. But y'all don't want to hear the history lesson, so I'm not going to do the history lesson. And I wasn't even going to do a history lesson. What I would like to say, though, is let's look at what we have before us here. So this is current events, but I guess to some people it would be historical. So basically, they'll kill you at church, they'll kill you at your house, they'll kill you by sending the police, they'll kill you for jogging up the street, they'll kill you for going to the grocery store. So they'll just kill you, right? And you don't know who it's going to be. Sometimes it's the police, sometimes it's some random yokels from the neighborhood, and sometimes it's a guy who drives 200-300 miles to do it. Because, not too long ago, I know these all blur together, but dude drove 200 something miles in Texas to kill some Latinos in a Walmart. So this shocker ain't really about us. It ain't about black folk. We just happen to be the people who were murdered in this particular case. But this is a much larger issue. And I personally don't think that you're going to be able to debate your way out of this or kumbaya your way out of this or any of those wonderful things. You have to acknowledge we're at war. And I don't say that in a hyperbolic way. We simply are. But right now, the casualties are only falling on one side. And if you're not willing to fight back, at least do a better job of defending yourself, because you truly do not know the minute or the hour that some person just decides to do this. But a quick point I did want to make, though, about the killer. I don't know if you guys have ever priced military hardware like this, but this is an 18-year-old man. The gun alone, even if it was a low-end AR, is about $1,000. Then he had a tactical helmet. That's a couple hundred. Then he had body armor. That's probably about another $750 to $1,000. This person at age 18 had equipment that fit him probably around to the tune of about $4,000. Now, I don't know how many people on this panel can just put $4,000 into this kind of stuff and go and still function with the rest of your life. But that's what you're up against.
If I had
how much of that did y'all already know I was going to say?
You did better. You did better than normal. Drinking your nasty beer. But you have to go a little, my opinion. You assume that he did $4,000 off the bat. I'm assuming this dude was evil enough to have been saving up his money and buying bits and pieces because it was going to come to this.
Well, he came from two parents that are both engineers. So money is not a problem in his household. Okay. But even if he was doing it over time, he's 18. 18, y'all. So over time would have made him a minor. So where is he getting the time, the money, and the access? We are not up against some random dude who had a screw loose or a bug up his butt. We're against people who are well financed and well indoctrinated.
Yes.
Well, let's get to one of the people. And all these ones that I'm showing you is not that person, but those people. So, and it'll make more sense, but I just got a snippet of a few people, but when I show it to you, I want you to understand that they're in their niche is speaking for their niche of people. And if I confused you, it'll become more understanding when I start showing it. So let's go ahead and go to Ted Cruz, who this is tack number one. Tack number one is to always downplay real massacre and upplay taking a stroll in the streets, basically.
Joe Biden knows it's disgraceful. He's literally threatening the lives of these justices by the mob they're unleashing. It's the same thing we saw with Black Lives Matter and Antifa riots, where the left embraced them, and now they're embracing mob violence to get their partisan outcome.
Really, really disheartening.
So that's just one bit. I'm not done yet. Not done yet. That's one bit. Because I pulled this up to tell you that the people that are saying these things are effing cowards. And they're effing cowards to their own party. Because thanks for Midas Touch for putting together this little bit. I appreciate them. Y'all go check them out. They do a really good job. But I'm going to just show you the cowards, and they didn't put in why this happened, but I know why it happened. So these are the cowards that these thugs are listening to.
All politics for them. The ends justify the means, and it's complete hypocrisy. You see this in the corporate media. You see this among Democrats. On January 6th of 2021, you had tens of thousands of people peacefully protesting, and yet the corporate media and Democrats slander them with the made-up term insurrectionist.
As we see terrorists assaulting police officers, tragically murdering a police officer. We see a violent assault on the Capitol. We see terrorists breaking onto the floor of the Senate chamber and the floor of the House. And all of us are horrified.
We are approaching a solemn anniversary this week, and it is an anniversary of a violent terrorist attack on the Capitol. And yet, in this instance, they are not willing to call off their goons even now as this has the potential to escalate.
Thank you.
So now here's the backstory of why you see that flip. He was dead serious in 2021 about everything that he said. Till he went on Tucker Carlson's show. And Tucker Carlson called him out. Literally called him out. How do you call this a terrorist? You should be using the word terrorist or insurrection. Well, I think I was misleading. No. You're an attorney. You don't misrepresent words and everything. You know exactly what you said. And then this coward went back on, downplayed everything. Everything. And love to throw people walking on sidewalks, not the streets, people who don't have tiki torches, people who not carrying Confederate flags, people who are not throwing people in the middle of the street. You don't see tanks rolling down the street. You don't see rubber bullets. You don't see tear gas. Those are the terrorists. But everything that we saw that happened January 6th, no, that was a peaceful protest. But these are who these people are listening to. And I'm not talking about way out of this in any kind of way, shape, or form. I'm not even trying to get them to understand. Because if you can't even understand the coward that you are listening to, this is the guy that left Texas during a snowstorm.
There is a script, and you have strayed from that script.
But y'all listening to him. Pounding on the table. I'm so mad. And you gonna do what, dude? Because I guarantee, I guess you could beat the hell out the damn table because you sure can't do nothing else but that. And as soon as you confront it, you go run to security at the airport. And rightfully so. Because I don't know what's in these people's hearts and these people's minds. They may have been peacefully trying to talk to you. They may be as pissed off as we is. We don't know. But y'all go ahead and keep listening to these cowards who sits back in their back room giving you directions, knowing they're not going to do anything because they're smart enough to know, I'm not going to get caught. But I'm going to give the instructions to these idiots and then enjoy myself watching y'all do what we tell y'all to do and laugh my ass off while you do our biddings, while we get rich off of it. Enjoying the power that you gave us while doing our bidding, while y'all get arrested.
Yeah, it's amazing how we the way that this society functions, and it's not just the laws, it's also how we in general function, where we will protect the instigators and prosecute the demonstrators. You know, Ted Cruz and people like that are untouchable, and then they're rewarded. But the people that they send out there or they rile up, they get to go to jail, maybe. But they are the ones in line to go to jail. But, you know, what are people wanting to do about that? And I'm just waiting to see.
These white supremacy groups are all over the country. They organize and arm with military-grade weapons. I follow Right Watch and different Antifa-connected groups. And be right back. I'm going to TY. This is weird on Facebook. Yeah, because it doesn't show your name on Facebook. I don't like that rule that they have, but okay.
But basically, I mean, the whole concept of doing battle, so to speak, it's just not a smart play. You have to fight back because that's where we are, but it's a losing proposition. You know, you can go get your little pop gun or whatever, but you're going up against people who have had military service, have had law enforcement service, or were trained by people who had military or law enforcement service. They're deeply indoctrinated and steeped in not just an ideology, but their ideology has been wrapped into their religion so that they can't even see the two apart. So now they feel called and pushed by what they perceive to be God. So you're not just going up against somebody else who has a gun. So unfortunately, the civilized play is political, but we didn't fight that way. Like we didn't do the political stuff that needed to be done when it needed to be done. And so now we are having to deal with more of a physical confrontation. And that is, I mean, we're watching Rome burn.
Well, let's move on to my second point then. So, why would an 18-year-old drive across state lines 200 miles, make sure that he's in a black neighborhood, and shoot up and do whatever? Well, quite honestly, because this wasn't the first time.
Rise, face the jury, and hearken to its verdicts.
State of Wisconsin versus Kyle Rittenhouse. As to the first count of the information, Joseph Rosenbaum. We, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the second count of the information, Richard McGinnis. We, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the third count of the information, unknown male. We, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the fourth count of the information, Anthony Huber, we, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the fifth count of the information, Gage Grosskreutz, we, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty.
Why would you not think it was not going to happen again? This is a blueprint.
Hey, what do courts operate off of?
Law.
Precedents.
Mm.
That's how they make their determinations off of precedents. Well, what's the precedent in these situations? If you do something heinous enough, then they will lock you up. But if there's any level of ambiguity or it's not a major impact, you go home.
Yep.
I just saw it come up the other day. I don't even remember the killing that it's related to, but a guy gave his son a rifle, and his son used that rifle to kill like 4 or 5 people. And the father was facing some charges. He could get up to 3 years. Now, 3 years. You could go to jail for 10 for a probation violation. You can go to jail for 10 for being a felon with a firearm and not even use it. You can go to jail for 10 because you sold some drugs. 3 years. And I can draw a direct line to you, the weapon, and the event. This to me is this is why I need people to take a step back and look at things a little bit more dispassionately, because what we're up against, an individual is not going to change. It's going to take a lot of effort by a lot of people, because I'm sure we've all heard of the scenario where you ride with your friend, like 3 kids, they jump in the car and they go to the convenience store. One of the kids goes inside and loses his ever-loving mind and kills someone trying to rob the store. The other 2 didn't even know it was going to happen. All 3 are facing the same murder charge. But you notice when they do these things with these people who are murdering people, they stop at the killer. They don't go after their families. They don't go after their networks. They get that person and they look at them like this is a part or a product of America, but this one was just defective.
Almost. Because I can look at the Clemens.
Who?
The kid that went into the school and shot up the school.
That's what I was wondering if you were talking about.
Been plenty of those.
Okay, most recent one.
You're talking about that little Ethan kid.
Where the parents brought him out.
They run for it, yeah.
Yeah, but they would have probably gotten off if they didn't run.
Yep, if they hadn't ran.
They took off and
they had
ran.
cooperated, they would have had no charges.
They jumped bail. They ran. So they became fugitives. And then watch, we haven't heard a peep about them in quite some time. So that you will have to be literally a news junkie for it to finally come across your radar that they got 18 months.
I look at it totally different, Theus.
Please, by all means, help me out.
Because all I can say is why did they go after him and why did they go after the parents? Look at the victims.
Well, it often comes down to
look at the skin tone and the economics of the school where the shooting happened at.
I'm saying those things matter, but I'm also saying they're not determinative, because rich or poor in America, to be white in America is to be an individual. To be black in America, or any non-white person in America, depending upon how far you are away from whiteness, is to always be a representative of your group. So if a black person, like the knucklehead who went and shot those people in the subway, he becomes the right's example of radical violence on the left. We know nothing about this person's politics. We only know that he was black and shot people. But he becomes the equivalent to all of the mass violence that's happening on the right. because he is a representative of an entire group, whereas Crumbly or this knucklehead or the other ones, they're all individuals. They're all defective. They're not like us. No.
And just like that dude that, and we do it to ourselves. Let me just throw this in here. Facebook and YouTube and Twitch and everybody else. Don't think we don't do it to ourselves. Because when that idiot drove through that parade trying to get away from the police, and y'all found out it was black, what's the first thing that came out of y'all mouth? Oh, he set us back a long ways.
Because he did.
He set himself back.
He did that too. But are you the reason why do we say stuff like that? Why do we take something like that and then place it over all of us? Because we're the ones who have had entire communities destroyed because of the alleged actions of one person. So when you have the one black guy who was running from the police and ran through those people in the parade, it's not just him. The moment you find out he's black, it becomes us, because they'll use that, and they have used it to kill us or punish us. That does not happen in the reverse. They don't go round up every white supremacist because of this guy. They don't go and round up every white militia member because of what happened in Michigan. They don't do that. They stop at the one. Because to be white in America is to be an individual. And that's where I would push back with you, brother.
Well, then I'll push back. And I'll say this, though. But when are we, and you know I'm joking, but I will say this, though. Then we need to push back on that. And we need to start using our voice like we're using our voices over here. So when they come with that BS, because they're going to do it and go and like I said, we set it up so much about saying you set us back. No, he set himself back. Well, no, because this, that, and the other, and everything else. Oh, so let me get this straight. So when the white people going around and shooting everybody else, that's the individual. What the black person doing, they're representative of the black community. No.
You're speaking what should be, we're not, and I'm talking about what is.
I'm saying from this point moving forward, we need to stop trying to say that when black people do something, they're representative of us, while when white people do something, they are individual representation.
I agree and disagree, because here's the point that I would try to make. We do not control the narrative, and we do not control the media, right? So the history books, the newspapers, the magazines, was flooded on your timelines, all of that stuff, we don't control that stuff. The best way to do what you just said is for us as a community to reject the centering of whiteness. But that's a very difficult ask for a collection of people that have grown thoroughly within whiteness. You see what I mean? Like, we have developed that particular reflex to push back and uncenter a culture that's not our own. But we had to learn to do that. So who's teaching people to do that? Who's taking the time to literally have to deconstruct a person's view of what it is to be an American and reconstruct what it is to be a black person in America? I try to do that. I know you try to do that, but I'm just saying it's not as simple as just saying know better, do better, because people are poisoned. We're all poisoned with this stuff.
Well, then let us start being the cure.
Yeah, that's why I said leave me in my garden.
Yep. Because my deal is, and I agree with you that we can't control the narrative, but what I can say to the black community and our white allies and the indigenous people is you can't control the narrative, but please stop reinforcing it.
Yeah, you can reject it.
Just reject it. Starting right here, starting right now. Start rejecting that crap.
And for anyone who's asking how do you do that? How do you begin to do that? One of the first things I would have you try to do is whenever an event comes up that triggers you, take a second and pause and ask yourself, why am I hearing this? Why are they saying it this way? And are they really talking to me? If you stop and just do those 3 quick things, you will force your brain to start looking at other perspectives. And I think that will help. That's the first kind of buffer, I would say, if you're curious as to how. And it's an ongoing thing. So.
All right. So we're going to move on. We done went from politics to traditional. So now we're going to go to religion. I'm going to tell you off the bat, I hate this freaking dude, but I have a reason why.
Oh, not Tennessee, man.
No, this is Florida, man.
Oh, no, I know who you're going to play.
You'll get him in a second. Little tent boy.
That's Tennessee.
I'm to the place right now, if you vote Democrat, I don't even want you around this church. You can get out. You can get out, you demon. You can get out, you baby butchering election thief. You cannot be a Christian and vote Democrat in this nation. I don't care how mad that makes you. You get pissed off as you want to. You cannot be a Christian and vote Democrat in this nation. They are God-denying demons that butcher babies and hate this nation. They hate this nation. Get mad all you want to. I don't care if you stand. I don't care if you throw tomatoes, praise God. I'm about to throw a microphone up in his house. CNN can eat my dirty socks. You cannot be a Democrat and a Christian. You cannot. Somebody say amen. The rest of you, get out. Get out. Get out in the name of Jesus. I ain't playing your stupid games. Bunch of devils. I'm sick of it. They want to talk about the insurrection. Let me tell you something. You ain't seen the insurrection yet. You keep on pushing our buttons, you low-down sorry compromisers. You God-hating communist America. You'll find out what an insurrection is, because we ain't playing your garbage. We ain't playing your mess. My Bible says that the church of the living God is an institution that the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And the Bible says that we'll take it by force. That's what the Bible says. That's what the Bible says.
This is what I don't like about this dude, for real. And it may be petty, but you remember I always like to use the word coward? This is one of them. This is like me going to my family function, or family reunion, all my family, and going, if you're white, I want you out of here. I want you all out of here. No, there's not a white person at that function. This dude does this whole yelling and screaming about throwing out people he knows damn well ain't in the damn building.
Well, he don't have a building.
Building, tent, equipment,
outdoors, garbage dump, whatever.
Where he's at.
But to be fair,
but that's Tennessee, though. By the way,
yeah, he's Tennessee. But
was he in Florida at one time, though?
He probably spends a lot of time down there. But his church is in Tennessee.
His what? Don't call that place the church. It is
a church,
but
watch my mouth. Because I get where you're going, and bear with me, because I'm actually going to be taking your side a little bit. But one of my biggest pet peeves with, I don't even know how to say a true Christian or a false Christian, because no one truly knows, right? But it's like whenever someone is doing something disgusting or abhorrent, then they're not real Christians, right? But then somebody else will say they are Christians, but then they'll turn around and do something that's wrong too, but they get to stay. So I don't understand that whole thing. But my thing is, I will leave it to whoever are the real Christians, whoever you guys are. I leave it to you to deal with these type of people who are bringing shame and misusing your name and your faith, because everything he's pushing is not of God. I say that, and I'm not even a Christian. That's not of God. What that was is white supremacy, because he's taking religion and politics and it's all one. Like, it was fluid as he was speaking. It was just all one. So it's going to be up to the so-called real Christians to handle their business.
And do me a favor, and I'm talking to all Christians out there because I am a Christian. I fall by the grace of God plenty of times. I didn't say I was a perfect Christian, but I am a Christian. Do me a favor. Do more than just saying, he not Christian. What? Okay, and what?
Because when you stand in hate, you are not walking the steps of Jesus Christ.
Well, and you just said a whole word right there.
And if you stand in love, then you should. Your natural enemy is evil, so you are called on to oppose it.
Yeah.
Where's the opposition?
But you're saying
I'll be listening. I'll be listening.
But you said it to your friends, you said it to your family, to all is in the same vacuum as you are, saying the same thing. He's not a Christian.
Just like some of the really good, because like I said, that I put down, I took off Christianity and deconstructed for my own reasons, because me personally, I worship who Christians say that they worship, right? My faith goes back, it's different. But I have a great deal of respect for Christians who actually are doing the work and trying to emulate the grace of God. Because when Jesus came, he ushered in grace. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're correct.
So if he's brought in, he didn't do away with the law, he perfected the law and ushered in grace. So you no longer had to be of the Hebrew Abrahamic lineage to be covered under God, right? That's how the Gentiles got to be covered under God. So if that is the unction that you claim, holy warriors out there, because people love to call themselves holy warriors, then I need, well, it ain't up to me, so it don't matter what I need. But what I would like to see is the same energy that you speak life into your congregation, the same energy that you help feed your community through soup kitchens and the food pantries. See, there's good works being done by Christians every day, and they get no credit for it. But with that same energy, why aren't you standing up against the people who are bastardizing your father's name? Because the rest of us, we sitting here looking, and it's like, I don't think I want to join your team. Your team don't fight.
Two totally different teams.
No. I'm not saying that. See, anybody can call themselves anything, right? Anybody can adopt your language and speak it back to you, right? I could learn Spanish and start speaking Spanish, but that doesn't make me from a Spanish country, right? So that's how I look at that guy we just looked at. He's speaking the language back, but he's not of that. Does that make sense? You know? So I personally do not consider him to be a Christian, and I do not hold him against Christians. Right. What I do hold against Christians is, he's misusing your name and doing damage in your father's name. And the Jesus I learned about wasn't no punk.
He's the Ben Shapiro of Christianity.
No.
Well, these guys are all coordinated. These guys are all coordinated.
He's the Ben Shapiro of religion. Remember the whole, I'll put in a couple of facts here and there, but the majority of my message is a bunch of lies.
But there was no facts he was speaking. I don't want to say listen to him again because I'll throw up.
Oh, heck no.
Everything, I'm like, no, that's not right. That's not right. That's not correct. That's not in the Bible. What are you talking about?
Only thing that he said that was out of the Bible that I heard was the name Jesus.
Yeah, that was it. And he literally, I'm like, how can you misquote institution? Where is it? Huh? What?
And do me a favor, dude. If you want to be taken seriously, I don't give a rat's ass if you want to be taken seriously or not. I really honestly don't care. If you ever do that little pee dance and try to think people are going to take you seriously with that, I don't know what that was that you was doing. I don't know what that was. You were throwing a tantrum or what it was that you was doing.
It's a clown show.
It's the same mannerisms that we see in the black church. I mean, that's just a flourish.
Dude,
flourish. Is that the word? Like in actual
I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm tapping out of that mess. No.
But you notice if you go back and watch this, and please don't play it again. But if you go back and watch this, maybe me, but a man's torso, and he's in good shape. I've seen him in interviews and stuff like that. A man's torso doesn't look like that. He, in my opinion, has a flat jacket on under his shirt because it was puffy and smooth.
Yep.
And if you walked up in that tent and they ever tried to just round up guns, which they wouldn't, because evangelical Christians love guns as much as they say they love their Bible, you'd have weapons all over the place.
Sure would.
That is an armed camp.
Yeah. That's why I say I don't like, I hate that he sits there and use that BS logic so much about if you don't like this and if you don't like that,
who's there that's
get out
gonna
my church and blah blah blah. And I'm thinking,
if you got common sense, why you going there in the first place? You wouldn't even go,
because he's saying what you want to hear. And then
he's saying what the nitwits in that congregation want to hear.
Exactly. He's saying that he's saying that I'm powerful, I'm strong, and I got the power, blah 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 blah. But here's the funny thing, and this is what Marlon, you kind of were about to hit on it, I think. And I know, I think it was Mickey who had made the comment. Yeah. You can't get them one-on-one.
Nope.
Because they are well insulated, so you can't get them one-on-one.
No, they have their entourage.
Because the thing they can never speak to is always so simple. You play back what they say, or you read back to them what they say, and then ask them, using the scripture, how does this line up with what Jesus said and the message that he was presenting? But you'll never be able to get them to have that conversation with you. Instead, what they want to do is speak in these vague things. And I'm like, no, I want you to cite chapter, not verse. I want the whole chapter because I'm tired of you taking 2 verses.
Yeah, 2 verses out the whole chapter. Like for real, you gonna really
They're
do
not even
this?
gonna say that though. They're not even gonna say that. I can tell you exactly how they're gonna start off with. This is just to show you that they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Well, tell me when in the Bible where it says such and such. You said you want a chapter, a Bible verse.
No, he said not one verse.
More than you want all that. They're not gonna say that. They're always gonna say, well, in the Bible it says.
Right.
Yeah, they're never gonna
tell
say
you where you can find it. They always with in the Bible it says, and then spew off something that, like Thea said,
they get you close, but it ain't quite there. Right?
2 separate verses that they don't stuck together, or it was never in there to begin with,
or their context. There's a difference. I think most people don't understand between context and content. He missed on both. I'm like, dude, are you? Look, I don't want to go vacation Bible school up on nobody, but that dude, you might as well call me a bishop. Because that dude, I'm like, dude, no, that's not in there. No.
It doesn't take any specific qualification to be a pastor. You just got to ask somebody who's willing to show up. you know, and
that's really true. You got to go to school.
Yeah, you don't.
No,
have
but
to.
I'm saying if we just put it in the contest, which one? I'm going team Jesus every day and leave these knuckleheads alone. I can't. They make me sick. They're
But
a poor
the people that he's
representation.
preaching to,
they think that is Jesus.
Yeah, they think it is, and I'm like, where's y'all?
But they also think Jesus is an American, because when you listen to how he was going on his weird rant, he was like, "You can't be an American and
vote Democrat."
And then another time he said you can't be a Christian and vote Democrat. And then he's like just using these things back and forth. So they really do think.
Yeah, they probably do.
They won't say it out their mouth because it immediately sounds stupid once it leaves your lips. But
compared to what?
They really
the rest of the genius things they say.
They really do think Jesus is white and he's an American.
He was American. But that's America's fault though. Not one of us four is going to sit over here and don't realize that we have never seen a picture of a blue-eyed, black-haired Jesus, pale-skinned Jesus. None of us. I've seen it when I was little. I know I've seen it when I was little, and it took me a while to read the Bible and for somebody to point out, dude, that's not how Jesus looked.
But the funny thing about even within that, I think Malcolm kind of hit on it at one point. Everybody has a version of Jesus that looks like them, except the black man. If you look at some of the Asian cultures who follow Jesus, they have like an Asiatic looking Jesus. You look at the white people, they got a white Jesus. You look at everybody got a Jesus that kind of look like them.
So you haven't been, okay, because I've been in plenty of so-called, and I don't like the term
overseas
black churches. No, I'm talking about here in the United States.
Oh yeah, we got white Jesuses floating around.
No, I'm talking about
we got black
Jesus.
Now that was not the case until recent history.
Oh please!
But
even that was when I was a little kid.
When I was growing up, all I saw was white Jesus. Now I'm not even. That's all I saw.
On the back of the church fan and
them fans didn't count.
It was in the church and it's represented. Okay, but anyway, the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is that people are getting way too caught up on what color Jesus was, because when you do that, I start challenging your faith anyway, because what race Jesus was should be irrelevant if you believe Jesus was more than a prophet and you believe that he was actually God body. So if you believe Jesus was God body, then his color doesn't matter.
Because he would be
he's of the spirit.
It would be of all mankind if he really said that.
But we live in a society where we still have to figure that every leader, no matter how great or small, has to be a certain race to represent that certain race.
And that's what I'm pushing.
Says it's not, even though there was representative to not be. Deep down in your subconscious, you keep thinking, "Oh well, he's my race." Obama, who has yet to say he was going to do an absolute damn thing about the black community. But deep down inside, you figure...
How did this become about Obama?
And it wasn't even me that brought it up. Thank you. That's all I want to say. It wasn't me that said it. It was Marlon.
You're right, Tracy.
Y'all be jumping on me. Jump on Marlon now.
I'll take the credit for it. Obama never said he's doing anything in the black community.
But Marlon telling the truth, though.
Me, please
he is telling the truth, but we were talking about religion and he went straight to Obama.
I'm getting to a point. When I say that Obama never said that he was absolutely doing anything for the black community through all the speeches that he made, but subconsciously, because he was a black president, you
had expectations.
You should. So when you do religion and you figure, well, this gracious Jesus of ours, well, he has to be white. This gracious Jesus.
Yeah, because we're the superior race. Why would he be an inferior race? If you really want to think the way that a white supremacist thinks.
Yeah, that's true. And what's even funnier to me when people start talking about this is like, I don't even, Jesus, in my opinion, I don't know. I didn't know the man. I didn't meet him in person. But Jesus wasn't even black. Jesus was whatever they were in that area of the land. You know what I'm saying? Like, You can say he was
But
black
that
from the
was
standpoint.
considered a part of Africa.
Yeah, but all Africans don't look the same.
True.
So if anything, he was black, because even the description in Revelation explains to you a representation of Jesus, which you might argue he might not be black like me, but he still might have been caramel colored or something like that. Who knows? Whatever. What I can tell you was he wasn't white. And I can tell you that Paul, Peter, and John, that wasn't their real names. So I can tell you those things.
But they all had Hebrew names. We just changed it to English because we was like, nah, we ain't trying to pronounce.
But we ain't
that
changed
way.
everybody's name. We ain't changed everybody's name.
Yeah, we did.
We left a lot of names alone.
Pretty much we did. Because if you read the original Jewish Bible, you'd be like, who's this? Who's that? Then you got to go to the regular one. Oh, this is who they talking about.
Right. So it's like, okay, this is a tangent, but I find it interesting because it does give you a little bit of a glimpse into how my faith works. So you have Christianity. Came about, what was it, roughly 500, 700 years after Jesus died, but it's built on Christ, on the Christ. But what was Jesus? Jesus wasn't a Christian, so Jesus was Jewish. So now you have to look at, well, who did the Jewish people worship and how did that come down? Then you start working your way back and you get into the Hebrews and the whatever came before them. But how is it we're going with the newest version that he never even said to be, and that's the right answer?
Well,
I just don't get it.
Called Christians at Antioch,
and it's a stolen religion.
For so long, people couldn't even read their own Bible. They weren't allowed.
If the religion comes from where we think it came from,
yeah,
and I can trace it back beyond that, going back into Kemet. But if the religion comes from where we think it came from, then how is it the heads of the religion today, none of them look like the people where it came from? You ever had a black pope?
You're never going to get a black pope. Well, I'm not going to say you're never going to get one.
But that's the head. But I'm just saying, that's the head of the Christian church.
Yeah, but Tracy, you just made me feel bad when you said that, though, because then that falls into the category of the first.
I know. I'm like, well.
So it's just a big thing. But that's why I am all for people who are of faith, no faith, and religion, whatever religion you are. I'm all for it. I think that we're all trying to figure out this thing called life, and good luck to everybody. Stop trying to think that your way is better than the next person's way, though. That's where you're wrong. Someone not being Christian doesn't make them wrong. It just means that they don't follow your path.
No rules.
But if you are Christian or you are Muslim and you say you believe in what you believe, don't get mad at people like me who used to be you. When I look at you and be like, you don't even believe in what you say you believe. Because your actions will show it.
That's the Lord forbid that we look at your actions more than your words, but okay. So let's move on because we got two more things to show.
How do we end up all the way out there anyway?
That's because that's what y'all want.
Because this is the show that does that. Name a show where we have stuck on the subject.
I'm just trying to figure out, how do we go from...
We do that. We'll spend more time trying to figure that out than actually doing the show. So let's move on. So we got the rant going. We got the rant because there's a group of people that just loves that fire and brimstone and blah 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 and everything else. Not everybody goes for that though. They want their religion. They want the Lord, they want their Jesus, but they want it a little bit quieter. Quieter doesn't mean a change.
Ask the test of the most multiracial, multi-religious, multicultural, multinational country in the history of the world. And to say otherwise is to smear the greatest experiment in human diversity that has ever been engaged in. To my fellow Americans who are Black Americans, this man represents such an infinitesimally small segment of the white population that it is important that you know that. It was as if those people in that supermarket were struck by lightning. These things are exceedingly rare in the United States. Okay? That's what a decent man, he's a thug.
Man,
Okay.
Well.
where's his sheet? And he's talking about if you know anything about PragerU, you know this dude is tried and true, old school, round them up a posse and burn stuff in your yard lineage, okay? Smooth talk, don't let it fool you, you know?
What smooth talk? I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Well, he wasn't yelling at you like
he wasn't yelling like the last guy.
know,
That's why I had to put him on there.
But he just exudes evil. He just exudes bad things to me. And then he's worse than the other guy because he has an entire platform and a university.
Supposed university.
That pumps, it's accredited, so it's pumping out these people that are being warped in their youth to come out. And they do it in a very nuanced way, so they don't even know what they're really pushing because it is such a nuanced position. But yeah, he's.
Oh, wait. So I'm like, do I want racist number 1 or do I prefer racist number 2?
And it was such a disgusting last statement. Like you're
about the lightning?
No, like you're they're talking to us like we a child. Like, I've told you everything that's supposed to happen, so you understand. Okay.
Yeah, like we so dumb we can't understand that.
There are a lot of us that are that dumb. We got a lot of sleepy-eyed Negroes that eat that stuff up. Yeah, but yeah, it's an interesting thing.
Dude, take your racism. Well, see, I just went to church today, so I'm not gonna say what is on my mind because it ain't right.
See, I don't understand. Okay,
I try
that part, but no, I feel you.
Because the words of my mouth ain't nowhere near hope. Nah.
Well, I didn't go to church today.
Neither did I.
I did. I'm like,
and that's part of the reason why I don't go to church.
As a matter of fact, Tracy, I'll meet you in the middle, Tracy. I'll meet you in the middle. Text me what you want me to say. I'll say it for you. I'll say it.
I decided a long time ago, and this is not to condemn. Here goes my disclosure. This is not to condemn all white Christians, but I'm telling you right now, there is zero a white Christian can teach me. I'm hard.
No, I'm not gonna say
not a blessed thing. A white Christian,
because they do know how to keep their services short. They can, they keep them under an hour.
What's the substance of that?
Oh my God!
They can teach you
what
how
is
to,
the substance of that?
to not be so long-winded. Okay, I'll shut up.
I think Tracy just broke me.
He's like, shut up, little girl.
So Tracy, white people can teach us how to do time management.
No, but our services do go long. I'm like, come on. We've been here 5 hours.
It does. I agree. But y'all know when y'all went there.
Yeah, that is true. We do know. Thank you. That guy was about to put me to sleep. I'm like,
and that's the other thing. Like, that's when people try to say things to me like, good conquers evil, love conquers hate. And I tell every last one of you who say that to me, y'all full of shit. Okay? Because it doesn't work that way. You can't show me nowhere in history where just being good beat being bad. Doesn't happen. Effort, righteous effort overcomes evil effort. But it ain't just gonna win because what you waiting for, the final days? You wait until you die? That what you waiting for? You ain't even gonna be part of that victory. Now, how many people gonna die in the meantime while we wait?
The people who say that is also the same people that starts with great power comes great responsibility.
That's a true statement.
That's a Spider-Man statement.
But
I mean, it's still true, though. If you have great power, you have great responsibility.
It is a good statement. I agree with you, Tracy. And it's something that carries across. And I'm not a study. I know Christianity because that is the religion I grew up in, and I hold to many, many, many of its tenets. I don't know many of the other religions, but I do know that is a principle that crosses about all of them.
Yeah, if you have power, you have the responsibility of using it in a way that's going to benefit everybody.
Yeah. Uncle Ben said, with great power comes great responsibility. But I believe it may have been Jesus or it was, okay, it may not have been. Let me not lie on Jesus' name. It was somewhere in the Bible where it was basically speaking that
to whom much is given, much is required.
That one, and then also not to hide your talents.
Yeah, that's there also.
Right? That your gifts are not given equally amongst all men. So all of these things are saying, there's something special about you. Whatever that thing that is special about you, you're supposed to use that for the benefit of fellow mankind. And that you can find that in almost any religion.
Mm-hmm.
You should put a should in that quote. Should have great responsibility.
Oh, they do have it. Just because they don't use it, they use it irresponsibly and use it stupid doesn't mean they don't have it.
I'm sticking to my 2022 notion that I'm gonna start seeing action instead of listening to words.
I mean,
I'm just tired of listening to not you, Peter.
No, I'm saying Tracy. Wasn't it? Was it Peter or was it? It was either Peter or it was Timothy. But they were basically saying, "Show me your works." Right? Works without
faith without works is dead.
Faith without works is dead. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was Paul.
That was Paul. Wow, I named two people and got it wrong. It was in the book.
Look, as long as you ain't like some people that said
Psalms.
Was it John or was it Luther?
Talking about 2 Corinthians?
Luther? Dude, who is Luther?
Who's Luther? Are you talking Martin Luther?
Vandross is who is you? So let's move on. We got 2 more videos.
Book of Jobs.
Well,
that's where you go to work.
So now we have the mindset straight. We got the mindset from the politician. We got the mindset from the religion poet. We got the mindset from the
university.
From
higher learning.
Yeah, that too. We got the mindset from the politics. We got the mindset from the traditional system. We got the mindset from religion. Now, all we have to do is equip them.
Added last September made it legal for everybody to carry a gun. I mean, let's invite some more ants to the picnic.
When she talks about, folks who have guns who shouldn't have guns, let me just make this clear. This permitless carry bill that police officers and sheriff's deputies begged Greg Abbott not to sign because it would make their job that much more dangerous. He turned his back on them and signed it anyhow. And he signed it despite being told that over the last 5 years, 35,000 of our fellow Texans who applied for a license to carry and went through the background check were rejected because they have a violent criminal past, because they've beaten a spouse, because they are going to harm themselves or someone else in their life. And law enforcement stepped in and said, that person should not be carrying a loaded gun in public. Well, now all 35,000 of them are free to do so, as are the tens of thousands who knew better than to ever apply for a license to carry because they wouldn't have passed the background check. They are free to carry a gun now on our streets, and they are carrying guns on our streets. More cops are gunned down in the state of Texas than any other state, bar none. We have seen a predictable spike in gun violence in this state. More women are shot by their intimate partners in this state than almost any other state, because we make it so easy for those who are violent against those that they live with and work with to have these guns right now.
Yep. But
So
hey, on the bright side, they don't give a damn about you anyway, women. So it kind of washes out.
Again.
How does America treat sex crimes against women?
Terribly.
Right. How does
what
America
does she
treat
do?
sex crimes against children?
Same
How does
way.
America treat violent crime against women and children? So America does not care.
Never has.
It just doesn't care. So
I'm sorry, we live in a society where some woman, and I apologize in advance, but I've told y'all we got to be real on this show. How many times have we heard a woman get raped, and the first thing that a man asks is, "What's she wearing?"
Or why was she there?
Why was she walking by herself at night? Why was she in that part of the neighborhood? What did she say to the guy that
what did
riled
she
him
had
up?
to drink? Why was she
better yet,
there? What was she drinking?
Hearsay.
How much was
Tracy,
how much was she drinking?
She should have watched what she was drinking. She should have watched who she was going to. She should have dressed in a better manner. She should have. What she should have did was got one of those guns that you can eat. I'm gonna stop. Stop.
But when a woman does have a firearm and she shoots a warning shot in her own home
in the state of Florida
into the ceiling, she goes to prison
for 20. What, they give her 20 years?
I think they got her out, but yeah. So look, on one hand, you have white fear, and on the other hand, you have, well, let's protect people from random gun violence. Which one's going to motivate someone to vote? White fear?
White fear all the time.
Or the guns? So Abbott did what he wanted, what he felt he needed to do.
I mean, literally, we're the nation where 22 children were gunned down, and we still can't. It's like, what is it? It's like if that couldn't do it, it's like we might as well just wash our hands and be like, okay, whatever.
Well, that's where we are. So, the best way I can think of, and it's a horrible, horrible way to go, is now, since we're going to go into this. See, people have rose-colored glasses and they fantasize about Wild Wild West. But that's where we're headed. So, everybody go get something. But the main thing I tell you, though, one, definitely, everybody go get something and get trained. But do not get in arguments with people in public about anything.
Nothing.
It's not worth it. They say to you that giraffes mate with rhinoceroses. Wow, that's interesting. I ain't arguing with you.
Look,
they cut you off and take your parking spot.
Let them have
curse in your car, and then walk your butt in the store and be like, well, maybe God was saving me by making me park for more stuff. More
I need the exercise anyway.
I don't preach that. I don't preach that so much, especially with people that's driving. And I have said this for the longest time. Every place that I drive like everybody else is an idiot. Yeah, I drive as if that person who I know I'm 2 inches away from him will pull out into that intersection at the last second. I know he would. I've had it happen. I literally had a dude that I looked at, was on the side road. I'm on the main road. I'm keeping straight. I saw him come up the side road to the stop sign, never stopped at that stop sign, pulled right in front of me to go. I'm not exaggerating. To go an extra 0.1 more mile to pull into the convenience store.
It just ain't worth it. Just let people have it.
I'm gonna let you stupid because I never understood people that go, I'm just gonna keep going. Yeah, no, I was in the right of way. So let me get this straight. Let me understand your logic. So you know they're in the wrong, and you're going to stay in the right. So you know if you stand in the right, they stand in the wrong, and you're going to crash your car. But you're still in the right. So you're going to go through the whole ordeal about insurance, your car being towed to the police, how you going to get to and from work and everything else on the premise that you was right.
But I was right though.
Sometimes being right and being alive are two different things.
Sometimes
like the people who walk into a crosswalk and they don't even look.
I'd rather have a car. I'd rather have a car.
Yep, just let people be stupid. I mean, sometimes you have to. It's a sad thing. It's a sad thing to say.
I'm not gonna fight.
No, Anna, you have been an amazing sport. You have been an amazing sport, Anna. What would you have to add if you have anything? I just feel like we've just been talking right on past you this whole time. But if you don't have anything to say, please, I apologize putting you on the spot. I would just say.
No, I need to be listening to this and taking what everybody says, because not enough people are. So, okay, I told you all about the MAGA's peoples yesterday. They came back today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought they didn't bother coming back.
Well, they didn't set up all nice and early this time, so we were like, okay, we're gonna go down. We went down early, and in about 35 minutes, they showed up. And they started putting their tables out and their stuff, and like we tried to do a little bit of negotiation of this is a county green, should be able to coexist. They kept on moving their tables closer and closer to where we were until my family was pushed over to the side. And basically we got to a point where, because it's not worth it to get into it with crazy people, and all of the people who were interacting with us in the very beginning, as soon as those tents went up, their attention went elsewhere. And so we ended up leaving early. It's just not worth it fighting with stupid people.
Well, this last video right here,
I agree
Anna,
with you.
To explain what we really and Mama Hart.
Yep, she wanted to go there, girl. I don't blame you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That makes
because
no.
me and Thea's is probably the only one there right now. You're not. You're just not counteracting what the hell we were just saying about 5 seconds ago. I understand that, but no. You're not pushing me off my spot.
Yeah, sometimes you have to know when to fight and what to fight for.
I mean, I actually sat down in my wheelchair at one point and was like, no, you're not moving me from here until I decide to go.
And then sometimes, like you said, sometimes it's best to leave and walk away.
Sometimes, yep. We found our time.
Yeah, and then other times you got to stand up, fight, and you got to know the difference between the two.
Yeah, and it comes with experience. Trust me, it does. And the funny thing about it is, I'm gonna tell you exactly what the experience is. It's sort of like what Theus was saying about the giraffe have mate with a rhinoceros, and that's how we came up with a caterpillar.
Okay. Honeybee.
I missed that science class. Wow.
Tracy, say that again.
A rhinoceros made it with a giraffe, and that's how we came up with caterpillars.
And what was your answer would have been?
I just was like, you know what? I'm gonna just leave you where you at.
Nope. You said too much. Theus, what's the answer? What's the answer?
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
And walk away.
Okay.
I'm not gonna argue with you.
That's not arguing what I said. I just said
I'm not gonna hold a conversation.
I'm done.
I would. Oh.
Yeah. But see, there's also the importance of knowing your limits and where your strengths and weaknesses are.
Very important to know.
Being that I am non-confrontational, but I don't have a gray area, so I go from 0 to 100. That means I am prone to react in certain ways, in certain circumstances. So I wouldn't even be in that environment because my reaction would not be good to have. You see what I mean? Like, off of the first experience you guys had, and this is because please, this is talking about me, not you. Okay, the first experience that y'all have, you couldn't prepare for that. It happened, and then you go back because you can't let somebody push you off of where you need to be. But you are uniquely suited and talented to be able to fight that particular fight the way it needs to be fought. Whereas I would have been a poor choice to have in that situation because I would have overreacted to the aggression, which is what they probably wanted. But when I overreact, I start doing math that other people may not have to do. I know that when I engage with you, this thing could go completely left field. And now I got to do a law enforcement, my job, and all these other different things. So being that I know that about myself, I just wouldn't go. That's one reason I don't go to protests.
Guess who that is?
Your sister?
No, Antoine.
Antoine?
My brother Antoine?
Your brother Antoine Tucker. What's going on, my boy?
What's up, family?
What's up, fam? Oh, coming out of nowhere, right? Hey, everybody. What's going on, my man?
But yeah, you gotta know where you can function.
Yeah, don't think that I didn't say a word to Mr. Magaman.
For them to go on they just attack us, and that's all they do is attack us. We just love our emperor whose butt we kiss all the time, and he's never wrong. Even though
they're the people who will like keep poking you and poking you and poking you and poking you, and then you slap them, and then they're like,
"You slapped me!
Hit me!
How dare you?
How dare you!"
Like the lady in the Victoria's Secret. Remember that video? So she like spazzed out, and then when she realized she was being recorded, she fell on the floor and started crying.
Because I'm still not over that one yet.
I have not ever seen that.
This woman,
the lady kicking the legs.
This woman was in a Victoria's Secret place, huffing and puffing, jumping people in line, everything else, and a black lady pulled out her camera and started filming her, as well as she should have. And until she's still acting a fool for a while, Tracy, plumb fool, until she saw she was being videotaped. All of a sudden, oh my God, it fall on the floor, and I'm having a nervous breakdown.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
Oh, no, y'all got to send me this. I literally have never seen this.
That's not what pissed me off, which is why I'm saying I'm not over it.
Talking about the security response?
I'm pissed off about is the Victoria's Secret employees. Great quote. The Victoria's Secret. Well, why don't you just stop videotaping her?
Why don't y'all act like? Well, no, you know what? I'm gonna take
Why
that
don't you
back.
do your job and get her the hell up out of here?
No, it ain't their job to get her
it's
out of
not
there.
their
That is
job
not their
because
job.
first of all, they don't get paid enough to be security and retail employees.
Okay.
No, that's not their job. Nope. I'm
Nope.
gonna have to agree with this on that. Not their job.
I could be wrong once.
I don't want my
Yeah.
16, 17-year-old daughter trying to intervene with some crazy woman anywhere. So
they don't pay them.
Because they know better, Antoine. Please.
No, but what they do with them is they put them on a separatist list with the FBI and destroy their professional and personal lives.
Yep.
Because white people get to be a militia, we get to be a separatist.
Let's get to this last video.
Or extremist.
Done? I know what he's going to do. I got a debt too. So let's get to this last video. And this is a snippet of how our white counterparts can help us. A snippet of what I personally, and I'm speaking for myself, of what I'm expecting. So things are slowly, because at this point, everything at this point is going to be slowly. I know everybody's so used to microwave change in this society, and we're far beyond that now. It's a done deal. But for the snippet of things, this is what I'm looking for.
Yet again.
Hello, for Jackie, right?
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, you're like a white guy.
What's that?
Are you like a white guy?
Excuse me?
Are you like a normal guy? Like you speak English? Sorry.
No, you can get out of the car. I'm gonna
What?
cancel a ride. That's inappropriate.
What?
It's completely inappropriate. If somebody was not white sitting in the seat, what would be the difference?
Are you serious?
She said, wow, you're a white guy.
Oh,
That's okay. I'm not gonna take the ride. You guys can get out.
really?
Yeah, completely inappropriate.
Oh, you're
It's all on
You're a
camera,
piece
man.
of
It's all on
I
camera.
should punch you in the face.
You're gonna
my
threaten me?
God.
Yeah,
Assault.
that's right. Yeah.
Wow.
Because you guys are racist.
You're
No, I'm calling the cops on you, man.
Go ahead.
It's all on camera. It's all on camera. Do you guys own the place? Is it your place? That's great. Everyone's gonna know. Fossil's last stand for black people, right?
When I tell you, this is my last rant, then we got to go to break. When I tell you this is the shit that I want, because every white person, every black person, every Latino person has heard some racist, homophobic, bigot joke. And because it didn't affect you, you let the shit slide. You thought it was funny, and even if you didn't think it was funny, even if you thought it was sickening, you ain't say a fucking thing to the person that said something. You didn't say a word to them.
Or those who actually do speak up, who are amidst a white group of people. And this is my mother, and she actually gave me permission to tell this story. She asked her guitarist to please not say a racist joke. She lost her job. They pushed her out. A bunch of old white men who were really not as good as they would like to think they were. But, yeah, some of us do speak up.
Thank you. For you and your mother. Thank you. That guy, and do you see the seconds between what that racist Trent was and you can get out. And I want you to pay close attention to what I'm saying when I say this. Because anybody else would have tried to start verifying the money they could have made compared to, should I just get rid of these people? Also, for the simple fact that some people would have just, as I said before, just ignored it. Whatever. When you start, Bo had the perfect way of analyzing this to a point, and it's so funny to the point where I actually want to actually see it work in person. He says when somebody says a racist joke to him, he always have this dumbfounded look on his face, like, I don't understand the joke. Explain that to me. Explain exactly why. Explain that why that's a joke.
Mm-hmm.
He said 9 out of 10, they never tell that joke to him or even in his presence ever again, or any other joke like that ever again. He said it works 100% of the time. That's what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when people tell jokes,
stop playing to these people. Stop analyzing the outcome of what happens if you stand up and say something.
Well, I don't know about that one, but
it's gonna happen.
The thing about people telling these quote unquote jokes is 9 times out of 10 when they're telling it to you is because they're literally trying to seek your approval or whatever. Like they're trying to get a little bit of favor with you, right? And when you reject it, then no one likes feeling rejected. So that puts them back on the spot, and that's usually how it won't come back. Kind of like if someone's bringing you gossip, instead of wondering why are they gossiping, you might want to ask yourself, why do they think they can gossip to you? Right? What is it about you that makes them think, I know who wants to hear this? Right? But going back to the young man and Anna with your mother, that's great. I'm glad people stand up for what they believe is right, and it doesn't always just come down to race. Like what Marlon was saying, this also goes when people are talking about trans or LGBT or anybody else, women, men, right? It's not okay to just pick on men, just like it's not okay to just pick on women, right? Now, you got to let some stuff go unless you just want to fight every battle that comes your way, but either way. But with this young man, I'm glad I'm glad. Good for him that he handled it the way he did. I don't ask for him to do that. I wouldn't look at him any worse if he had just not laughed, shut up, and drove. I wouldn't have thought any worse of him in that scenario. I just wouldn't. Because what the next thing he would have needed to do, though, is flag that ride so that they are banned from ever getting another Lyft ride. That'll hit him a lot harder than not being able to get in his car right now. So I don't know. It's different ways. Handle it the way you want to handle it. To my brothers and sisters, I don't advise you to engage in battle with every idiot that comes your way. I don't.
Well, I don't even know what this woman would have got into the ride with a black person.
Oh,
no, she would have got in and she would have been quiet.
She never would have said something that stupid. Oh, you speak English.
Because she expected a black or a foreign person to be driving. So she would have been fine. She would have got in there. She would have shut up and she would have said all these things in her head. And then she would have cracked little slide looks with her little male friend. And they would have had their private jokes amongst each other. And they would have got where they were going and the day would have gone on.
Yeah, and I love how she called him a regular person.
Yeah,
what
that's what they're fed on that side. That's what they're fed. To be an American, like everybody gets a hyphen except for white people. This is how it works. So that makes you normal. You are normative. You are the center, and everything kind of radiates out from you. Like you got history, and then you got black history. I mean, you got American history, and then you got black history. You got African American, but you just white. And if you feel like it, you can then say you're German, or you can say you're French, or you can say whatever. But that doesn't limit you once you say it. You belong to the white group. You belong so much to the white group, you don't even have to call yourself white. So you feel funny when people actually point out that you're white. When you hear American, it means white. So it's all baked in. So I mean, that was cool. Young man, hats off to you. I'm curious what he'll be like fast forward 20 years from now.
I know a lot of people that when they hear something like that, their brain just stops. Like they can't believe it they just said that, but their brain stops, freezes. That's like their fight, flight, or freeze. They freeze. And that's what most people do. And then they go back to being asleep. You know, we only have little moments of wakefulness.
Yeah. And then what if that man, he had just he was laid off, couldn't get a job, and he's driving Lyft so he can make sure that there's baby food and groceries in the house. He would be terrified of getting fired by Lyft. And he wouldn't have spoke up. Would I now judge that man for not speaking up? I don't know. So it's always so complicated. What's not complicated is that woman and that other dude were idiots.
Yeah, that's the easy part. Normal person.
Well, that's
Girl,
the funny
you
thing
don't
about
take.
it, because the guy couldn't even.
He couldn't believe he was being told
that's what I'm
no.
saying.
Punch you in your face.
That he was so comfortable that he couldn't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
What? Over that little small joke? Or not even a joke, because it wasn't a joke. It was
A racist statement by me.
A racist observation. What? Over a little observation?
Gotta punch you in your face.
And now he's threatening to assault.
He would have fought that man if he got out the car.
Yeah.
When the guy pulled off his seatbelt, I was like, put it back on. Put the seatbelt back on.
Yeah. Well, Tracy,
this guy hit his car.
I tell you, I wouldn't have got out the car. I promise you, I wouldn't have got out the car.
But he took his seatbelt off like
when you slam my car door, the first thing is, because I do it to my kids when they was younger, when they slam my door because they're young, and I'm like, what the hell? I pay this car loan. Hold the hell up. You gonna tear up my car? So I get it.
Yeah, I was like, put the seatbelt back on. Please put the seatbelt back on.
But see, that's just it. Like, why do we have to, I mean, because I drove Lyft for a while, and I know, it was against the rules, whatever, but I'd make sure I had my protection with me. I hope I wouldn't have got out the car. I'm almost certain I wouldn't have gotten out of the car. And I probably wouldn't have known what to do in that moment because I was only driving because I literally had to keep the mortgage paid.
Yeah, but she wouldn't have said that comment if you were driving the car. She had to be in a position where she thought she was comfortable enough to say that in the very first place.
But she might have felt comfortable enough to say something similar because she had her man with her. See, people oftentimes point at the white man as being so bad. The white woman is infinitely worse than the white man. Infinitely. The white man just happens to be the one with the rope. You need to look at who sent his ass.
Who was the one that actually made the rope?
Who's the one? No, who's the one who said he touched me, he looked at me, he whistled at me? Look at her. She know what power she has over that man. The woman, the Central Park jogger woman. Come on. The bird watcher lady.
That dude actually got a show on Netflix now.
Yeah, he sure does.
Yeah, watching birds.
Hey, that's his livelihood, though.
Yeah, you knock yourself out.
I'm
not watching birds.
I'm not watching you look at birds.
I'm not watching you watch birds, and I'm not watching birds.
I like birds. It's not enough to sit around and watch them, though.
You knock yourself out. I got plenty.
I'm happy for him.
Only
Even if
time
it
I
is
watch
Netflix.
a bird is could you please get the hell
I
out
see.
of
I
my
can't be
car so I
happy
can
for
get
him
traffic.
just because he's inappropriate.
Anyway, we're shutting
Yeah,
down.
thank
We are going into the second half.
Mhm.
We are going into the second half. We're going to a lot of a second half because we're way over. But I expected it. So I'm not sweating the technique. I knew we was gonna go over, but again, this is one of those things where it's like we have to say what we got to say. And we did pretty good. These didn't give us no history lesson. I'm pretty good for the first half.
I can't make nobody learn what they don't want to know. I'm trying to make this thing pop back up. There it is. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and go into the second half because I know we're way over into it. So let's go ahead and rewind and reboot. And we will see you all in the second half in about 3 minutes. Stay tuned.
Living for weekends, wishing I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally, finally, finally. I wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. Finally, finally, I wanna be free. Finally, finally. I always say dreaming, never imagine I lose my spark. Living in this crazy time, putting back the pieces of my mind. I know how to run from the dark and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate into the clouds. I'm so high above the ground. I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally, finally, I wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. Finally, finally, I wanna be free. Finally, finally, higher to a bird. You, I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. Finally.
We are back.
That was fast 3 minutes.
I know. I'm actually trying to time that I was actually be able to go get my beer, kiss my wife good night, make sure the front door locked,
Wait
and
a
all
minute.
that stuff.
Hold
Under
on.
3 minutes.
Didn't you weren't you the one that just said that beer was nasty?
That was Thea's.
My beer is nasty.
Well, his beer. Yeah.
I finished it, but
What's the difference? Okay, I'm non-alcoholic drinker here. What's the difference between one and another?
what do you mean?
Lot flavor. There's
I'm
a
like,
lot of difference.
I don't know.
It's like the difference between Coke and Sprite, or Sprite and Sierra Mist.
I thought you were supposed to say Coke and Pepsi. I'm like, nope, those taste exactly
No,
the
no.
same to me.
No, they don't taste exactly the same.
Yes, it does.
They
Coke
taste
and
close.
Pepsi
They taste close enough to say that you
I
can
can't
drink
tell
either
the difference.
one, but they're
I
not the
literally
same.
can't tell.
He's highly qualified bird nerd. It was a National Geographic who hired him to do the show.
That's cool. I just don't like him because his behavior is inappropriate.
Watching birds?
No, he's talking about how he dealt with the fake victim. No,
She
wasn't a
suffered
victim.
enough. Let's forgive her and blah blah blah. All right, bro. It's your call because she did it to you, not me. But your behavior was highly inappropriate. Just like the young man who decided, "Can I hug her?" to the woman who shot and killed your brother, and now you helping her get her a chance to appeal her conviction. You know, it's just like some things are bigger than you, bro. You just gotta.
Well, I don't see nobody on this show doing it, so whatever.
I forgive nothing.
Wow.
Well, you know, you saying I'm sorry to you ever again?
Mm-mm.
Nope. Nope.
No, I mean, well, that's your call. I mean, that's your call. But what I mean, because your apology shouldn't be whether or not I'll accept it. Do you feel like you were actually wrong? If you feel like you're actually wrong, then you apologize. If you don't feel like you're actually wrong, don't waste my time apologizing.
I'm not even gonna take your apology anyway. I've never done that before. Because I have to sit here and wonder what your apology was for. Are you apologizing because, once again, like what Thea was saying, are you apologizing because you really gratefully feel bad about what you said? Or are you apologizing because it looks good on a transcript?
So that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm not going to accept your apology.
I forgive in it, like accidental things. Things that just happen. Because nobody's perfect. Sometimes people just get it wrong. But when you thought it through, or you should have thought it through, or you tried to cover it up after you did what you did, there's no forgiveness coming from me, because now it's calculated. Now it's going to be up to me whether or not I decide to get you back, because I do believe in vengeance. So, but I don't always feel that it's worth the effort or the time to do it. Sometimes you just got to let it go and move on. And sometimes it'll be years later and I'm going to come get you.
I'm not. I mean, I'm not. I never have. I probably never will. Because I guarantee every person who's ever done me wrong, ever, and yeah, it's true, it was years later, but you got 10 times worse what you did to me. I ain't got to do jack. I ain't got to step my name on anything that I did to you. Just be on the understanding that I'm not going to give a rat's ass what happens to you. Just keep that perfectly clear. I'm not going to raise my hand to you. I'm not going to badmouth you in the street. I'm not going to do absolutely anything, because my history have shown that every time you have rolled me or you have rolled my family, you have got screwed over 10 times as much.
Yeah, I don't believe in that whole karma thing.
I didn't either. But like I said, I got a history.
No, the reason why I say that,
ever rolled me,
I've seen karma too much to not believe in it. I guess.
That's cool. So maybe it's a strong sense to say when I say I don't believe in it. I just don't count on it. How about that? Because I just don't think that. I think that energy, once released, it has to go somewhere. So in that respect, I will get with you, like on the karma thing, right? You put out a lot of negative energy, then you'll find yourself operating in areas that will line you up to end up with negative consequences at some point. But I don't think that that's necessarily karma. That's just the path you're on, which is why I believe in vengeance, because sometimes I'm going to come get you.
I don't feel like being bad.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's true. That's why, in a nutshell, why I get so frustrated a lot of times, because most people do believe in this weird cosmic order that says that when you do bad by me, something bad will happen to you. And I'm like, Yo, speaking as a black person in America, score is really going up high on one side of the ledger here.
I don't believe in the cosmic thing. I believe that if you're going to be an asshole now, you're going to be an asshole in the future, and sooner or later, your luck is going to run out.
Yep, I agree. Eventually, because you're going to be making the type of decisions that put you in
You're
those
going to make the
positions.
same decisions. So I just buy my time.
Yeah.
Just understand. I'm not going to all of a sudden care.
Yeah, I agree.
Just understand that off the bat. Because that way, and also understand that I ain't got to hear your shit either. I don't care. I just don't. Because I'm always going to look at it. The only reason where you come in and you want sympathy and I'm sorry and everything else because now it's happening to you, which means you're fake. So again, I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Do you have the life you deserve, and let's just move on.
I would say 99% of the time that's me too. But there's that 1%.
Yeah, we know.
I'm just a good old fashioned. You reap what you sow, but that's just
that'd
be odd for me to say. Well, I don't believe in the redemptive story. That's what my whole faith is based off of.
Yeah, what comes?
There's a lot I could say to that too, but yeah. And it's funny. I leave a lot of room for people to actually evolve and outgrow wherever they are today and be amazing tomorrow. Now, you may not be able to do it for me, but I leave a lot of room for people to be able to do that. I believe that you can't hold someone forever to what they were today. Just can't do it.
Or yesterday.
That's but that's when I say that actions speak louder than words.
No,
so
I feel you.
When somebody comes to me and keeps saying, but I'm not the same person that I was, yet your actions seem to match exactly how you was back in the day. At this point in time, then like I said, I'm speaking for myself. At this point in time, now you're actually wasting my time because you're trying to talk to me about something that you're not even living. So why are you even coming talking to me? You will literally, this whole conversation will come out with, because now I'm looking at you like, what the hell are you talking to me about? What do you want?
No, I agree. You could be a great person to them. And I will, it's like, if I'm gonna use one of my heroes, Malcolm X. If I was one of the people that you shot at when we were running in the streets, I don't care when you become Malcolm X, the great orator. You still the dude who shot at me, but I will respect that you are something different for them. You know what I mean? Like you may not get a chance to change for me, but I'm not going to hold you to that for the rest of everybody else in the world.
I agree, Mickey. I totally agree.
I believe life is 100% fair and it's unfairness.
I agree. I just something deep down inside of me just really, like I said, I'm going by my own history that your luck is going to run out. And when it does, we're not holding a conversation about forgiveness and moving on and everything else. Especially that whole, you're not doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it for yourself. I'm fine. Trust me. I'm perfectly fine. I could go the rest of my life not holding a damn conversation with your trifling ass. Did it before, I'll do it again. I'm fine. But we're not going to hold a conversation how you wrote me. Especially if we're not holding a conversation how you wrote my family. So if something happens to you, okay. And we're going to move on. I didn't mean to bring us down on that. As y'all saw at the bottom, that was everybody's Patreon page. Please go by and take a look at it. Everybody is in a worthwhile cause, including Anna's website page.
I don't have a Patreon. Yeah.
Not a Patreon, but she has a website. Go visit it. Get in there. Also, keep in mind that come next Friday is me and Thea's show. Yeah. Yeah. It's literally nothing fun. It's nothing funnier than seeing Anna dance on every doggone song that I put on. And I know y'all can't see it, but Anna jams out to every song that I pick, and it makes me feel good to go, well, at least I picked a good song.
You do. I like your taste in
But
music.
me and Thea's has a Friday night guys show next Friday. It is a special, so it is not a regular. I don't want anybody coming back the following Friday going, are you doing a show Friday? No, we're not. But it's me and Thea's going back and forth, left and right, up and down, cussing at each other and society and politics and everything else. Get into the nitty-gritty of the ins and out of deep social, personal individuals. I say that because I have a video that I want to show everybody that I was going to save for the show, but honestly, I don't think my mentality can actually do it twice. I just can't. I know I can't. So this video, I'm going to give you some background on it because you're going to actually, I'm being nice. I'm being very nice because you're going to get the second half of the conversation, not the first half. And I'll tell you why. So this lady was putting on that she wanted to start a animation company for kids and things like that, and she was looking for somebody who does anime drawing. And the guy said, hey, you know, I'm into that business. I'm a professional and everything else, but I'm a little confused about what it is that you want. So she said, well, I'm not sure what you're asking. What is it? He said it was kind of confusing. What is it that you're asking for? This woman, and I timed it because the guy that's reading this read it out, and I clicked on my timer on my phone and I timed it. This woman proceeds to give a 15-minute plus text of what she wanted. Not 15 minutes put together, Anna. 15 minutes straight of a text. It took this guy 15 minutes to read this text.
Are we about to listen to 15 minutes of some dude?
Hell no.
No, because it's like 10, and I want to go to bed.
I'm like, folk got to go to work.
No, I said that was the first half of it. She went all the way through animation to production to the Holocaust, the people that she met at the Holocaust Museum, to she was abused as a small child, to she want something to the effect of she want kids to write plays about being verbally, physically, or sexually abused, but she wants adults to act out the writings of the. She was everywhere with this thing.
Oh, so she was all pancake. She just went all over the pan.
She went everywhere. So this right here is the second half of the conversation.
Thoughts? Okay, team, we did it. We made it through that that we made it through that thing. And that was a single text message. This person said, "Hey, so your bio's kind of weird. And like, what's the project?" And they replied, "That." Okay, and we're still only halfway done, so buckle up. OP replies, "Wow. Wow. That was a lot of personal information. I can relate to your goal of wanting to give a voice to children because I didn't have much control as a child either. And I've also experienced the bad things that people can do to others. As far as an animation project, however, do you know what the actual subject of your animations will be? Taking the lead from children is a nice idea, but there must be some professional intervention to organize a child's ideas and wishes. I'm a professional. If you'd like to hire me to work with your project, I'd be happy to help if you have an idea of a budget and timeline." That's where it gets a little more complicated than it already was. What? How can it possibly get more complicated than this, lady? In that my hope is that professionals will identify the need for their services and work as being investments made into the children, our future, whom we want and many still strive to be. Or to make up for lost time during childhood, and it's on a take what you need, give what you can basis. There isn't yet a workable budget or timeline, as this isn't something that I've ever seen done or done myself, and thus it'll require some figuring out along the way. But it's creating a whole new world in a way, because it's not just a production company or entertainment company or product or any singular one-size-fits-all, but that all sizes fit, because if it doesn't yet, there's many people able to help if needed. To answer your question of actual subject, I'm not sure how to answer, as it's not a single subject, but rather a library of subjects. I'm wishing to do a traveling art program that showcases anything and everything and provides platforms for those who don't have access to it. I'm no purist or idealist, but I do draw from a multitude of philosophies and practices, both theoretical and practical, and I identify as an ontological polymath that needs to provide audio, visual, tactile, etc. representations of a variety of things that my decades of experience working with children has informed me are pretty universal regardless of the time, cultural, or any other variables as regards to a child's needs. Being centered. I guess if I'm putting down a single subject, it would be a children's interactive book written by children, while connecting to the elderly as they are the most vulnerable of any population. Yet they're seldom centered or provided for in ways that are dignified. Okay.
My head hurts.
Mom,
My head hurts.
Don't you do that shit no more.
What will she do? That company's not going to last 3 weeks.
That company doesn't exist.
She wants to reach children writing books and anime and elder. Oh gosh. Marla, what did we do to you to make you think we would want to watch that?
Because if I had to go through it, y'all do too.
No, we don't. That's why I'm going to put a little daycare girl on your timeline just for that mess.
That's why I took my headphones off. I barely was able to read what the hell was happening on the screen. I just couldn't.
What the elderly, the children, the forest, the winter, the sun, the moon, the star. What?
As someone who can be verbose in my comments, I gotta say that there is this really beautiful practice that you should go back through your works and see, do I really need to say that? Did it add anything? She could have taken off
100% of everything she said.
I'm saying about 80% and still gotten her point across.
All what she was saying is, I want a children's book.
Her point?
Come on. She wasn't making a point. She wasn't making one.
That children need to be centered, and
then she wants
they
to
need a
reach the
cartoon
elderly.
to show them how.
By the way, that traveling party she said, that it needs to be a traveling organization. Yeah, that was never said in the first part. That shit was brand new. That was brand new information.
That's literally.
Don't
that
you
woman is
bring
special.
this shit on Friday Don't.
I got rid of it. I got
And-
rid of that.
You know better than to even try that. Well, we won't have a show this Thursday, but don't. I will boot you
What
right
did I
out.
ever put on your show? I never put anything on your
Don't
show.
think about. Don't even reference her. Don't reference her ever. Ever.
I'm just saying that video was horrible. I mean, it was just bad.
Have a business plan, right? Write the vision and then make it plain. Oh my gosh. She literally.
Thank you, Susan.
No, Susan, don't thank him for that mess.
Thank you, Susan.
Don't you thank him.
Well, I have to admit, I know nothing about guns, and she was rambling on.
Thank you. Thank you. Because, boy, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, this lady, you know what I'd have did if I was that guy? I'd have blocked her. I'm going to look, this conversation is over.
No, Tracy, it went on more. It went on.
See, that's his fault. That's his or her fault for putting up with that foolishness. I would have ended it right at the first time. I'd be like, you know what? I'll find another job. I'm going to be okay.
It was more after that. And she got mad at the guy because the guy literally said what we all been saying. Lady, look, I would like to help, but you're all over the place. Could you send her on what exactly it is that you want? This woman went into another 5-6 minute rant about how he was wrong.
He kept going back. That's his fault. His fault. He should never have went back. He should have ended the conversation, said it's over, blocked her number, and moved on about his day. Period. With the T at the end.
Healthy boundaries.
Foxy's videos of the week. Ellie, you be killing me. Anna started playing the drums
and the guitar.
Hey, Trumpster is conservative and everything. If you confuse what's going on in this country, so are we.
MAGA all up in arms about kids being confused or indoctrinated. Shit, me too. You know how confusing it is seeing somebody call themselves a patriot with a Confederate flag saying, hey, we can't take these statues down because it's history and we don't want to forget it, but don't teach that history to my kids because they might feel bad. Seeing people who are a paycheck or two away from disaster argue on behalf of billionaires. Watching Biden being blamed for supply chain shortages while Greg Abbott rolls away snickering. Watching the right block or vote against every single thing the left does, then screaming the left isn't doing anything. Watching twice divorced parents freak out because their kids might learn that instead of mom, stepmom, some families have mom and mom. Watching the pro-life party argue against vaccines or masks. Seeing the party of family values take He Is Risen matching pastel outfit family pictures on Easter so they can go home to their fuck Biden flag. It is confusing.
I'm sorry, y'all. I done ran out of gas. It ain't confusing, but I feel he made very excellent points. All of his points, well put.
Are you tired,
Bro, yeah.
You'll use all your energy in the first damn half, so.
Bro, I'm sorry. I didn't expect after 10 o'clock.
Okay, if anybody would like to leave, do so. I would truly understand it. It will be no problem on my half. I can finish the show alone.
I just didn't know how deep the pool is over here. That's all.
Okay, I'm giving you a chance. I'm not going to be upset.
Oh, you couldn't stop me. I'm
That just because he's tired doesn't mean he's gonna stop talking. I mean, come on.
I see what you did there, Tracy.
Because as your older yet younger sister, I gotta do something.
I tried to. Y'all saw that I tried to be nice. I tried to be understanding. I would not be upset, but we're gonna keep rolling through this so somebody can go to bed by. So we're gonna move on. That was a shot. I apologize. I didn't mean that because I'm actually tired too. But I wanted to watch something before I go to bed. So the whole little abortion rights thing, this is something that should be used completely across the board.
Hi, Mr. Jones. I'm going to be your nurse today. I was looking over your code status. I noticed that you're a DNR. That means do not resuscitate. And Mr. Jones, I know that's your choice to make, and I know your choice to be a DNR doesn't affect me, but I'm pro-life. So, Mr. Jones, I will not honor that DNR. If your heart stops, even though you don't want me to restart it, I'm going to restart it because I'm pro-life. What's that? It's your body, your choice. We actually got rid of that idea a while ago. So actually my beliefs can be pushed on you and you're just going to have to accept that, Mr. Jones. Okay, I'll be back in with those medications you refused earlier because I believe they will help you and we need to go by my beliefs, not what you want for your body autonomy. Be right back.
Too bad irony is lost on the stupid.
Did anybody see the little person suddenly pop
I have no
out?
idea what the hell that was. I have not
I
a
saw
clue.
that, but I was like, I'm not going to say anything because I thought, no, maybe I'm so tired. I'm just seeing things, but I'm glad you saw it too. So I was like, okay, I'm just seeing things.
I'm not a TikTok off, I don't have that much knowledge, and that could be something that's normal. But when I saw the little dude come up in the corner, I'm like, what the hell did I just see? Is he part of the video? Was he in the video?
Y'all talking about that blue little thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just want to make sure we're on the. Just make sure we're on the same page because I was like, okay. I saw the guy point to her, but I was like, what that little blue? Okay.
We got Papa Smurf running through videos and just running rapid. I don't know what the hell was going on. Yeah.
Yeah. The right will never admit it. I mean,
she just summed up the entire right
wing philosophy in a nutshell.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah, the problem is,
and they'll never pay not a damn attention to none of these. None of these.
Conservatives don't care about all that. I said it, and what? Now I'm saying this.
Yeah, because
there's only people on the left that are sitting here like, wait a minute, that was a lie.
You're actually giving a lot more credit than what you credit to them than what you saying, Theas. They're not gonna say a damn thing. They'll literally pretend like they didn't see shit.
They was like, I didn't say no, not me. I never said that.
They won't even go that far. They'll say the lying liberal media once again is trying to take things out of context and blah 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 blah.
They're not even gonna do that. I'm telling you, they're gonna pretend like they never saw that ever before ever, and they go right back to what the rhetoric that they always been saying. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
we just showed you this video. What video?
I don't see what video. I didn't see it.
What are you talking about? I don't know. All I know is Jesus said.
He's from America.
Good, born in Mississippi.
They're on the same equivalent of they're not engaging. They already pinpointed what they're going to say, regardless of the information we give them that is incorrect, incoherent, or flat out the opposite, and they're going to pretend they never saw it.
Their job is to win, and that's what they're doing.
And we dumb for losing to them.
Because we're busy trying to say, well, that's not in the rule book. It says right here on page 5, paragraph 12. And they're like, yeah, okay. So
in the Constitution, Mark 5:21. So I'm going to go ahead and show this one. And it was basically just, did you know? Because I didn't know.
Name one thing in your industry or profession that the general public would be shocked to know.
I work in fashion production, and when you go to a store like TJ Maxx or Marshalls or Home Goods, everything in that store is made for that store. It's not leftover old inventory. Everything is made out of cheaper materials at cheaper factories to hit the target prices that store is going to sell the stuff at. And also all of, like, the compared to prices are completely made up.
Oh, I knew that. I knew that. Yep. Knew that.
I didn't know that.
Knew that. Yep, they're made specifically for Targets and Marshalls, and yep.
Just like your TV, if you buy a TV from Target or Walmart, those TVs were made for Target and Walmart.
Yep.
I know it's for Walmart. I knew that.
Yeah, so they're not going to be, sometimes they're not going to be at the same quality. That's the only reason I can sell you a 50-inch TV for $300. But if you go to like an actual electronics store, that same
if they exist,
brand TV is going to be like $800. So yeah.
Yep, I knew that.
All right, let's move on. I'm not going to take anybody down because it's a real short video. Fair warning to everybody. This is a joke, but this is a joke you could only use once. Once you use it, you can't use it again. It's in your best interest that you don't.
Mom, can I curse?
What?
Can I say a curse word?
Oh, you asked me for real?
Yeah.
Right.
Just one.
All right.
The only B word I call my mother is beautiful. I love you, bitch.
What? I love that.
You can only use that once. Now, me personally, I can never use that word.
I can never use that because there's no way I would ever think to call my. No. And Liz, nope.
My mother is the same. Well, you know what? No, that is a lie. I'm putting my mother on blast. So, Mom, if you're watching, I've already said this to you before, and it's true. If you meet my mother now, she is the most kind-hearted, loving woman you ever want to meet. She works in the church. She gives back to the church. She gives back to the community. She's very forgiving. She's very caring. She will give you the knowledge and the wisdom, and she forgives quicker, and she will give you the clothes off her back to help you in any kind of way, shape, or form. That is the mother that we have now. Everybody understand that? Mm-hmm. Okay. That ain't the mama that raised me. In no way, shape, or form. I don't know who the hell this lady is now. That's not the lady that raised me. Everything that I said when she was raising me is the complete and utter opposite. This is a mother who is not letting me win in any game. Any game? Any game. Card, board, physical, whatever. This is a woman who will flat out tell you to your face, what would you do if I wasn't here?
She's preparing you.
And I never understood what that meant until I got older. But for a phrase, because when I looked at her, she said, what would you do if I wasn't here? My thing is, yeah, but you're standing right in front of me, so I don't understand what you're asking. I don't understand that. So I got older and realized, yeah, I need to probably start doing stuff for myself because I'm not always going to have a safety net for when I do stupid things that go wrong. But this woman that you see now, that ain't the woman that raised me at all. I've been locked out of the house of a many of a times.
Yeah, for her to even call her mother,
You're
not your mama, not you can't hear me?
No, Theas was saying something.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'll say it again. You shouldn't have been a badass kid.
I was a badass kid.
You shouldn't have been.
Yeah, you gonna tell me now at 50?
Yeah, I'm telling you that now because this is what I'm hearing about it. You shouldn't have been a badass kid.
See, as a person that does not have their mother, what in the tarnation world would ever make me say, I love you, B? There's
I don't even cuss around my mom.
what in her mind thought, oh, this will be funny? What is wrong with today's millennial generation? What's
No,
wrong
don't blame
with
her.
you?
Blame her mama.
Because there's no way I would ever.
I'm absolutely not blaming nobody.
No,
She should never. You do not disrespect. I don't care
if the mom doesn't view it as disrespect, it's not disrespect.
Yeah.
And she makes sure she prefaced it first so she knew that it wasn't the.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing about it is
there's no way I play with my mama like that.
No, not my mother.
You knew it was going to be a joke if you start off the whole conversation with "Mom, can I cuss?" Because this is already a girl that's like, you know, I cuss a lot on these shows. I cuss a lot in real life.
No, really?
It ain't my fault that you don't cuss. I ain't said I wasn't. But there's a trigger. There's a filter, I should say. There's a filter inside of me that even when I get around my mom, I just can't do it. Even when the occasion occurs, I just can't do it. And this girl is the same way. You are literally sitting there. She's in a driver's seat, so she's old enough to drive. And she's still asking her mom, can I cuss?
That not my mother. No, no.
No, I'm not ever going to.
Like I said, I may not have been the best daughter. I may not have had the best mother. But there's no way in this entire world would I ever even think of saying, I love you, B. What? No. I know, I get what you're saying, Theus. It wasn't disrespectful to her. But as a person that doesn't have their mother, I'm just like, nah. No, not your mother. And not your father either.
Well, I came up in a time where you never referred to a black woman with the B word, period, anyway.
Yeah, there's the other point.
Pretty much. There's that point.
Gen Z is a very different.
They can be different all they want, but they need. Now I'm sounding like an old church. They can feed with it.
I mean, yes, it would never enter my mind either. Tracy, I'm with you. If I was going to address my mother, there's no way in the world I would call her that.
But it works for them.
It works for them.
But yep, okay.
Ain't gonna break nobody.
And that's the funny thing about it, though. When we sit there and say that individual families need to be raising their ways, that's what they do in that family. You can't look at something and go, "Oh, but no, but you."
I'm just saying, as a person that doesn't have her mother, that would give literally everything I had to get my mother.
It made me laugh.
No,
because my mind was going on the. She said B word. She said beautiful. Okay, there's not going to be, and then suddenly,
Yeah.
The only reason that ever came back is because she heard the joke. She really wanted to.
She wanted to hear the joke. And there's another reason why I choose to be childless. Let someone, little child of mine, that's not gonna go well at all.
Depends on how you raise them and the standards that you set for them. It's not a big mystery.
Marlon, she did what she thought was the best for you. I managed to know my mother as a person, particularly my way before she died. So now the woman keeps showing up in my head laughing at me. My mother, at a certain time, 16, 17, 18, and everything else, my mother wound up actually being a real close friend of mine. Is a friend of mine. We talk nightly. I mean, not every night or things like that, but we talk weekly, and we talk 45 minutes to an hour.
I don't talk to nobody that long. But that's awesome. That's awesome.
But we're just that person. We go back and forth on everything. Her philosophy, whoo, talk about old school, but it is what it is. But that's my mom that raised me as a single mom. So what am I gonna say to her now? You know.
Thank you, and I love you, Mama.
Thank you, and I love you. I appreciate everything you do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I also have a strange feeling that my grandmother is right now laughing down at me, going, "I left you with your mother." I knew how she was gonna be. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, and all sleepy heads around the world, that is our show for tonight.
I was just getting warmed up.
Boy, you sit there and lie, not your mouth. Stop telling them lies.
You can do whatever you want to, because I ain't got nothing else. Ain't nothing I got to say more. Anna, tell everybody where they can find you.
BorreliaEtc.com. BorreliaEtc.com. Thank you.
Tracy.
TracyMediaLLC.com.
Thea.
ComplexSimpleMan.com.
And everybody, you will see us Thursday, Tracy.
Friday.
You will see me and Thea's this Friday. The first episode of many episodes.
We can't hear you with that music.
Man, that music loud, bro.
It is loud.
I was like, hi, what?
I'm like, I hear new things in it tonight.
Okay, there we go. You will see me and Thea's this Friday coming for the first of many, but not consistent. The first of many of Friday Night Guys. I apologize. Somebody did ask when that show will start Friday. It is at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But of course, you know, I will always send out a thumbnail on everything about what we're going to do so nobody can miss anything. And it will be me and Thea's. I basically had to come up with an idea of how to explain how our show is going to be, and I think I come up with a great idea. Is me and Thea's being me and Thea's. So you kind of know what you're getting into when you watch the show. Viewer discretion advised.
Mm-hmm.
So it is, and we'll have a wide range of topics, including topics, because I'm going to catch him off guard with this, including topics that Theus is going to come up with too, because what he's not going to do is just wait for me. So Theus has to come up with a topic, a social topic. Yeah, I know. You didn't know I was going to say that.
That's all right. We'll discuss the finer points of Chip and Dale.
No.
Is CGI better than drawing?
And what happens when you combine them both?
You'll get that lady discussing how she. The hell was she discussing? Oh my God, what was she talking about? Anyway,
Walmart or Family Dollar? Which one gives you the closest look at real America?
None of them, since all of it comes from China. So, yeah. But, and by the way, if y'all really don't think China is actually working for Dollar General and Dollar Tree, catch the hint. So that is our show for tonight. I appreciate everybody that came out. I do. What am I going to do for 2 hours till I get up and go to bed? I don't know what to tell you.
Take a cat nap.
What time on Friday? 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mickey. We will be 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until next, Chippendales. Not with the cracking
No,
up.
Chip and Dale, the Rescue Rangers. I hope that's what this was talking about.
Yeah, I was talking about the Rescue Rangers.
Okay.
Oh, I
Nah.
get.
Y'all, see, Tracy, they don't have a nice, pristine mind like we do. They always out there in the gutter.
It's
And
Mickey.
now you know. Until next time, we'll see you when we see you. Peace.
Love you, Mickey.
Night all.